talked about in the video, in 2019, the first decision of Honorable Cabinet was to insist that every government department find out which are the areas where they can collaborate with SHGs for procurement of goods and services. And this is the decision on that. And as a result of which, a target was set of 5,000 crore worth of goods and services to be procured from SHGs and their federations in the next 5 years. Next slide, please. And this is how the departments fare. I've just given 1 year's data. And you would be wondering what would fisheries be doing with SHGs when all Gram Panchayat ponds and tanks in Odisha, the first right of fishing is given to SHGs of the village. It is not auctioned to others, it is auctioned among SHGs. Electricity department does electricity meter reading through SHGs. The transport department, in a unique pilot initiative, runs bus services which are managed by SHGs, 1 block per district, to make them equal partners. So this and a lot of non-stereotypical activities are being done by our SHGs. Paddy worth crores is being procured by SHGs through computer iris scanners and biometric devices, and they get their incentives and commissions accordingly. Next slide. So basically government walks the talk. Now if you see the credit flow to SHGs in the last 5 to 6 years, it has undergone an 800% increase. This year it is touching 15,000 crore. So Odisha started with somewhere around 1,000 crores 5-6 years ago, 1,800 crores, and this year we are touching 15,000 crores, and this is propelled by a huge initiative which is not there again in other states of interest reimbursement up to rupees 5 lakh. So every SHG across the state, urban and rural, is assured of interest repayment if they have first paid to the banks. So we encourage the banking habit. It is not zero interest at the start. So the group pays the interest, pays the principal, and then it is returned back to her account. So that has fueled this 15,000 crores, and now we are in the big states category. Next. And this is how much interest has been going back to the SHGs every year. So 280 crores this year is fueled back into the microeconomy of villages and small towns. Next. Yes, but you know, facts and figures don't tell the whole story. They never tell the whole story. The story of Mission Shakti today is a story of those 70 lakh women, lakhs and lakhs of women who 2 decades ago thought probably their life would begin and end in the kitchens doing domestic chores. But today, if you see the passport office of Odisha in Bhubaneswar, their highest clientele will be SHG women standing in queue to get a passport. So these are women who, these are real stories, women who had forgotten their names because they were called somebody's mother or somebody's wife for years and years,
today,
for decades.
If you see the passport office of Odisha in Bhubaneswar, their highest clientele will be SHG women standing in queue to get a passport. So these are women who, these are real stories, women who had forgotten their names because they were called somebody's mother or somebody's wife for years and years, for decades. They are standing in queue for their name on the passport, and they are routinely going to places like Dubai and Singapore for exposure visits, coming back with stories and channeling that energy into their families, societies, economies, and transforming their lives in a way. So they know that this stamp that they get, you know, the first stamp that they get in going from government, the stamp from Dubai or Singapore, is not maybe the first stamp, but not the last stamp. So these are the women, these are their stories. Next. This is our group that travels, and here I'll tell you, I'll end with something interesting. As I said, facts and figures don't tell the whole story. In Orissa, the initiative that we have with SHGs doesn't end with numbers. 15,000 crores sounds good. 280 crores into their account sounds good. 70 lakh women sounds good. But what happened in Orissa is the government, headed by the Chief Minister, saw that there should be a link between government and women. So routinely they come for interactive programs with district collectors, with BDOs. No program of any standard can be held in Orissa if SHGs are not involved, if their inputs are not taken. And they also come and routinely meet Honorable Chief Minister. So this creates a huge traction between them. A woman who has come and met the Chief Minister and has discussed with Honorable Sir on different issues cannot go back and be the same woman again I mean, you think of the rates of domestic violence, you think of other issues which immediately drop because women are partners in governance. So on the 16th of this month, a very unique thing was done by the Cabinet of Odisha, and I'll end with this. There was a uniform allowance given to 70 lakh women right into their bank accounts. That was the decision taken. Now, many of you must have heard this, that, okay, saris to women, uniform to women, so what's the big deal? Here there was a catch. 1.5 lakh leaders of the 70 lakh women also get a blazer allowance. Now, you see these smartly dressed women? Blazer is something that you associate with corporate India, with elite public schools, but SHGs in rural Odisha come out smartly dressed in blazers as partners in the transformation story of Odisha, and as leaders in their own right, as claimants of the public space of which they are very much a part. So this is the story of Mission Shakti. The women of Odisha are very much ready. Now it is up to corporates. Are you ready? Thank you. Bande Utkal Janani.